let's make some coffee.
Sick. Hey guys, welcome to Coffeehouse episode 8. We are almost there. We're getting through it, just chopping through it.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about how to host a kendama event. That's right. And we've kind of touched a little bit here and there on each different little episode, casually mentioning some small things about how to host a kendama event and
jams, things
giving a little insight. But I thought it would be a good idea to really give a full-blown...
You don't like... I got to get the coffee out of the bottom, guys. Look at this. Look at this. You got to get every bit out because that matters. If you're a smeller, listen, if you're a smeller, this is what you want. The grounds, because that's as fresh as it gets right there. And then look, it's just kind of sealed in there for the next time.
Just make sure you spank it.
You just gotta see, look, a little bit more came out there. All right.
Yeah, so if you're gonna, it would be nice to have like a full-blown, like, not guide, but some kind of like walk through into how to host an event in case you're interested in doing it yourself, just so we have something to reference too. I made a mistake today picking a tan shirt because I kind of blend in with the background, so I'm basically like a floating head and arms right now, and coffee cup. Look at the pour. No spillage? No spillage? Too much pressure? Do we get enough water? It's gonna be a strong cup.
I'm gonna grab a spoon.
Oh yeah.
Plastic.
How do I entertain you today?
Spoon.
Check out my car. I've got a car joining the set today. My succulents. Today we're going to be drinking a little bit of Mexico again. I can't remember what episode it was. 3?
It was, no, I think it was a little later, maybe 4.
4? We're making a return because it's cold this morning and nothing would warm me up like a little bit of Mexico.
Get as close to the equator as we can.
Yeah, really.
Which actually most coffee is grown generally in that region because of climate and everything.
Yeah. We'll get back to the tasting notes when
4 minutes on the clock. I feel like I'm starting a freestyle.
Please don't.
It's like, all right, 4 minutes on the clock, starting in 3.
Your mama's so fat.
Oh, it's a rap battle. All right.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that today, and the way I like to go about thinking about how to host a kendama event, and Chad's got his way as well, and really he knows more, but how I like to break it down for other people is 5 questions: who, what, when, where, and how. I mean, if you answer all those, there's really nothing left unanswered.
Yeah.
And I guess, do you just want to hop into like the first one, which is the who? Like,
who? Kendama players, of course.
Yeah.
So I guess focusing on who you want to host the event for. Is that
let me talk about it for a minute. So like when we think about who we want to come to our event, you have to think about the type of event. And so like say if you got a jam or something like that, your who is probably the people you spend time with. If there's anyone in your town, local community. Now if you're going to do something a little bit bigger, say you're doing like a Soul Summer tour and you're looking at going to Indiana, maybe you should look at the Indiana Kendama Players Facebook page. Like there's all sorts of little things like that for different regions and things that you can reference if you're wanting to host an event somewhere else. And then if you want to go bigger than that, Facebook Kendama community, Instagram at large.
Mm-hmm. People within a general driving distance and maybe even down the road flying as well.
Yeah, and a lot of it too can be word of mouth. I think like if you're just talking to people and saying, hey, it's open invite. You know anybody who plays kendama? Are they within an hour drive? Are they within 5-hour drive? Invite them, you know.
Yeah.
So that for me, that's like what I initially think of when it comes to like the who for like who's invited. Another thing for who might be like
age. That could be a
exactly.
Like a lot of people recently, there's been jams and events at like breweries and things like that where maybe 21 below 21 aren't allowed to come.
Right.
So if your local community is almost exclusively a younger group, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to host your event at a brewery.
No, it wouldn't.
But let's say you've got a adult, like a older crowd of people, might be the route to go. So.
Yeah, and then another thing for who might be, for example, like maybe you want to think about the type of sponsors you want, something like that. If you're reaching a certain size, you can reach out to different types of sponsors, like Red Bull. The year we did that with Battle of the Border,
yeah,
they would consider it if it was 5 people sitting around the house.
Yeah, probably not.
And so that's another thing to consider. And for the what, this is really going to be like, what are you doing? What the heck are you going to fill your time with?
So that's the speed ladders, the open division, the freestyle, the mini games, and everything.
Yeah, so
which we'll dive into, of course.
Yeah, we can dive into it now if you'd like to. Yeah.
Sweet. So I generally
you should talk about all the types of things you can do for the event, in my opinion.
So generally, Kendama events, at least starting in the USA, have been speed ladders, which is a series of 7 tricks, and typically broken into beginner, intermediate, and advanced, increasing in skill level. So beginner, you're going to have tricks like pull-up spike, airplane, big cup orbit, and then intermediate, of course, just increasing in difficulty. You might want to pull up Lighthouse, falling in, airplane jumping stick, big cup, can flip big cup, and advanced, obviously, like something more like lunar in or spacewalk in, just depending on what you think generally the people that are coming what their skill levels will be and what they're capable
and what they'll enjoy
doing and what they'll enjoy.
Yeah.
So speed ladders is really good for that reason, and you just depending on how many people, let's say you have 9 people entering, coffee time. Let's say you have 9 people entering into the bracket. You might do groups of 3, so 3, 3, 3, and then take the top winners from each one, and then have a final round where you end up with the first, second, third. So that's speed ladders are usually quicker competition style, but
sense.
something that we've now seen. Yeah, speed. It better be quick, right? And the idea is that you're not doing these like really insanely difficult tricks because the goal is speed. It's not a matter of who can hit the hardest trick. It's a matter of can they land these tricks in a row the fastest or quicker than the other person.
You look like you're looking at me, waiting for me to put my hand on top of yours as we press down on the bench
really?
press.
Maybe I was instinctively.
Is he gonna do it this time? I hope not.
Yeah, Mexico again. It's
We had to make a return. I think the Magic Beans just can't keep up with us. And
I don't know about that. I think we can't keep up with the Magic Beans. All right, Sheldon.
I love that my cup looks bigger than yours. Dinky?
I think it might be, to be honest.
Sinky.
The fish. Thank you.
Trip, trip, trip. Yeah.
Oh, let's see if we can guess the tasting notes, because I can't remember any.
I looked at it already.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay, so you quiz me then.
Okay, what are the tasting notes?
I'm just going to go, this is totally left field. I don't even know why it's coming to my chocolate.
Oh, yeah. You know what I think?
Wow, I was getting some chocolate.
No, it's actually not. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, it is?
Well, it's malted.
Malted chocolate, yeah, that's what I said.
We're halfway there. Yeah.
Play it back. I said malted chocolate. I'm just going to go, this is totally left field. I don't even know why it's coming to my chocolate. Okay. This malted chocolate is one. Is full-bodied.
No. I've got a full-bodied no for you.
Okay, what are they?
Nutty, malted chocolate, mellow, and medium.
Mellow,
the mellow and the medium
I said medium.
No, you didn't.
I said medium-bodied, but
you
medium
said full-bodied.
Did I say full? Okay.
I said I've got a full-bodied no for you.
I got a medium-bodied no for you. Magic beans.
So we were talking about...
Yeah, so speed ladders is a competition format that you could go with. There's also, more recently, popular open division. And this is typically in the highest caliber of skill, whatever is the top in your community or whatever you're ideally wanting to host the event for. Open division is typically most difficult above the advanced or intermediate, depending on the competition. Open division, you take, and it can be any number. Generally, MKO's gone with like 33, and I've followed. I've done 33 some years. I've done 30. Like, it just depends on what you want. I don't think there's any kind of like strict way you have to host it. But let's say 30 tricks that you've chosen ahead of time, typically announced like a month ahead of time, so people have time to practice. And same for the speed ladders, let people know ahead of time, that way they can practice. 30 tricks in a bag, 1 versus 1, and we literally we'll do like rock, paper, scissors, see who goes first. If it's Shelton versus Chad, and say I win, I pull out a trick, and I basically, if I hit it, you have to match it. If you miss, I get the point. First 3 points wins. Let's say we both hit. It's like I hit it, you hit it, I hit it, you hit it, I hit it, you hit it. Then there's no points given. You go 3 times and then on to a new trick. If you go through all the tricks and you still don't have 3 points, somebody hasn't won.
Again.
So it's whoever has the highest points at the end. If you're tied, put all the tricks back in, next point wins. And I know sometimes in competitions people don't have that same because well, I mean you could go through the deck again just like you did the first time if that's the case. I've seen some people go into like a speed ladder. I'm not a fan of that because it's just like takes away from that like style competition. But it can happen if people are competing in the open division that aren't ready for those level of tricks.
Right.
And when you get on stage or in front of a crowd, the shakes and you get nervous and it completely throws off your like. Let's say you've been practicing. It's kind of like all that's out the window if you're on stage and get nervous.
Yeah. Another thing to think about, and you can keep talking about different little types of events to throw, is you want to also consider your time, how long you want the event to go. Because if you want it to be 3 hours, then it's hard to squeeze in an open division on its own, depending on how many people there are. Also, if you consider like eliminations and coming back from it and that kind of thing, then really all you've got is show up, let's start an open division, and just go. So if you want to do like some mini games and you want to do speed ladders and you want to do games of kin and you want to do all this other stuff, then you have to allot time for it. And so that's something to consider, especially for these longer formats. Yeah, and open division style, that 1 versus 1, I think 2 different years, it might have been 1 year, but 2 different years we tried that style of competition for beginner, intermediate, and open. So all 3 divisions had the 1v1. So it was beginners going spike to spike, pure
big
savagery,
big cup to big cup, and it was fun. It took a lot of time, and I think that's why we ended up going back to the speed ladders, because it's hard to have everyone go through every single trick like that. And diving into mini games, because you mentioned it, mini games are good fillers, good transitions between. Let's say you're like starting the day off. You're like, let's start it off with a mini game. It's just a good way to kind of get everything rolling, quick and easy. And everyone can compete in mini games because there's no like skill barrier there for depending on the mini game. So
I mean, more or less.
We can kind of we can kind of dive into a few options. Like the spike off is probably the staple mini game. Such a staple. And it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, pull up, spike. If you've been to an event, you've probably been in a spike off. If you've never been to an event, it's a lot of fun.
I'm sorry.
It's maybe you can host one. Maybe there's one you can attend soon. But the spike off is kind of just like whoever can go the farthest, whoever makes the most spikes, and sometimes it increases in difficulty as you go. I've been in spike offs that it's just pull up spike the whole way through, and those will go a little bit longer.
We do pull up. You're talking about they could do like a pull up like one turn lighthouse and like also.
It starts to get crazy, like whirlwinds and things of that sort.
It's getting really exciting, honestly.
Yeah, it gets cool when you start out with 100 and then you get down to 2.
Yeah, and
so
everybody's watching.
It's like these are the best spikers in the world.
Yeah.
Right? There was one event that I hosted where one dude won every mini game. Willie P. Yeah, he was on it that day, and it was like a group of 30, but still he's the best at the mini game. He didn't even win the event, but he won all the mini games. So he probably won more prizes in the end.
He practiced just spike offs at home.
Yeah, he was consistent.
Name more mini games. I've got a couple.
Yeah. So we've got the unicorn battle, of course, the dama over the head. And there's 2 styles. You can have them knock the unicorns off, or you can have them do like yoga, like things like that, until it's like more of a balancing thing. It's more of a self. You're playing against yourself kind of thing.
Chad says.
Chad says, or Simon says, or whoever, And
I prefer Chad says.
Chad says. We did that a lot on the tour, and that was so much fun.
You got people so many times. So
because it's not just, like...
Spike it. Dang it.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm doing a spike off, but if I don't say Chad says, none of it counts, and you're out. But then there's also I say like Chad says spike it, and you miss spike like that.
There's like two variables.
There's two variables, and so with creative talking and things like that, you can really get people with Chad says.
I love it, dude.
And cater that to your own names as you please.
Or don't, just use Chad.
Another one, Candlestick Battle, where you go around, everyone has it here. And I've seen some people, like, you aren't allowed to use your other hand, or you can only use your pinky to knock other people's candlestick off. And again, it's whoever makes it the furthest and lasts the longest in that game. There's a lot of really creative ones. Jake Weens came up with the teacup. How does it go? I can't even remember.
Is it not a candlestick as well?
No,
it's the big cup.
Oh, with the big cup? Oh, I guess it is candlestick.
It's just a harder grip.
I think your pinky. You have to pinky up. You can only hold the cup edge, and then you just.
So it's very similar to the candlestick, except the grip is a little harder. You'll get arthritis if you play it too long.
Yeah, we did Lighthouse relay races.
That's a good one.
At the tour stop. That was a lot of fun, and I mean, we did some really creative things.
Because after a while, we'd get bored. It's kind of like, okay, we've done it 4 times. Let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah, we get Moshikame Battle is another one, and Moshikame is just Sara grip, big cup to base cup. Again, whoever can last longest, and they get kind of creative where you can do different variations and taps, and usually ending with a spike on the Moshikame Battle. I'm trying to think if there's any other. I mean, you could do like Tama grip, spike off, where you're just using Tama grip.
That's a good variation. I think
let's name one more. I want to name one more because I know that we did so many.
A fight to the death, where you just stab each other with the ken. I think we did that one once. No?
What? No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm sorry, that's just me. Sorry, never mind.
Let's see. Okay, this one's cool. Let's say you have 5 people, and you're in a circle. I swing spike my Tama onto theirs.
Oh, you do it in a circle.
And then they put their thumb on the Tama, and then they swing spike theirs to the next person, and at the end, you're all connected.
So you've got different
groups. And it's like a teamwork, yeah. That's
so,
really cool.
So you have, say you have like 30 people, and you have like, it'd be 6 groups of 5 doing this, where they'd swing onto each Tama, and then at the very end, does everybody do it at the same time? I can't remember.
I think you try and do an earth turn, but or maybe
that's how we did it.
It's the earth turn. That's right.
Everybody got around, and then everybody earth turned again.
That's right, and then that team would win.
Yeah.
That one's so cool.
We did that in Ohio,
involves
and it took a minute.
Team bonding, yeah.
Everybody was loving that because like nobody, as long as you have people who have like good like attitudes and stuff, that not everybody's getting like super disappointed or anything by like dropping the ball. You're good because everybody just restarts and just keeps going, and you get hype all the way to the end. Oh, last turn, yeah! Everybody's just hype.
And then I just actually remembered another one that we did. It was a kind of like a race to lace mini game where it's 2 people come head to head, and it's like jumping stick, 3, 2, 1, go, and then his first one to get the jumping stick wins, moves on
like
to
a
the next
speed
round.
ladder type thing.
Yeah.
So did we talk about all the other types that we did? The double open, we talked about speed ladders, we talked about...
so open division, I guess we didn't talk about double elimination, but...
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So now it's, instead of just getting out and you're done, you have 2 opportunities. So it's kind of like everybody will go a minimum of 2 times.
How does that work?
Yeah, like double elimination. Open division works like any double elimination bracket. I mean, there's a winner's bracket, a loser's bracket. Ideally, you go all the way through the winner's bracket and win. If you get knocked out, you go into the loser's bracket and you have another opportunity to win. And at the end, the winner and the losers come together, and that's your final. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool because you don't have to do like a 3rd place match. That kind of plays itself out in the division, and that's been something really popular recently in Kendama, and something I think we'll continue to use.
So have we gotten all the competition types down, basically?
Not yet. So there's still, like, Ken Game is a competition style. Dama to the Death down in Florida is using that as their go-to. We use that during the tour as, that was like our big, at the end of the day after all the mini games, we'd probably play like 8, 9 mini games. And there are way more. We were super creative. We had a lot more. I know like Josh Grove is really good at coming up with
without looking at No look spikes.
Things like that, yeah. Yank spike competition.
Yank spike comp.
So kin tournament, very simple. If you've played pig or horse with basketball, take that concept, apply it to kendama. Another style, freestyle, is a big one. For single freestyle, it's 1 versus 1, 2 45-second rounds, and 3 judges. And the judges will literally vote this person or this person.
That's always fun to watch.
And those are a lot of fun. We actually, and we talked about this in the first episode, we had the tag team freestyle, which was the first time that we had ever done that or seen that done. And we expanded the 45-second rounds to a minute, like 2 1-minute rounds each team. That was really cool. We still had 3 judges. Catch and Flow, I think, has 5 judges, which it gets to be a lot, but each judge is focused on one particular aspect, whereas the 3
that makes sense.
are focused on all aspects.
Everything.
Yeah. So it's cool, like, you know, this one's like, and it's literally, you either vote for one or the other person on creativity.
Yeah.
You vote for one or other on control, one or other on difficulty, and things like that. And then another competition style, which is only used for Kendama World Cup, is basically the 12 levels of tricks, increasing in difficulty, you know, 1 being worth 10 points, 12 being worth 120. And there's the prelim round where you get through, and then it's kind of like a group of, I think, 36 with wild cards from all different countries. And they have 3 minutes then to hit as many of those tricks in that grid, stack up as many points as you want, levels 1 through 12. And so
I might be showing my ignorance here, but I think this is hard to replicate because the judges would have to know the value of the tricks, right?
It's so difficult, and of course, like Kendama World Cup is.
You could almost make it work if they had like a laminated thing that said how many points the trick was worth and the trick name, like if they held it up and then had to do it or something like that. But it kind of killed the flow a little bit.
Yeah, and another way to do it. I mean, they have the sheets, so the players are referencing a sheet. Maybe you make 2 sheets and the judges have 1.
Their sheet. And
just a good idea to see, like, okay, what tricks is.
But they could still pull out something else anyway, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of complexity because you have to have someone that's.
How many judges do they have watching there?
I think it was 3, and then.
How do they catch it?
I don't know. I think
crazy.
it might be each one is focused on a different aspect, like that. They also record it, and then after
they can go back and check.
Yeah, and they record the finals. They don't record the prelim. And the prelim is actually really easy to judge because you've got like 4 people. It's like we're in a gymnasium and it's gridded out, and 4 people are in a square, and so you have one person with your sheet looking at your tricks. You hit it, they mark it off. You hit it, they mark it off. Things like that. So it's like this.
It's pretty fast.
But it allows for like maybe somebody hands a trick, and if your homie or somebody is judging you, maybe they'll be like, "Oh, it's good." That's not good. So we've seen in the Kendama World Cup a few younger people that are like handy get in there. They review the footage of their final run, and they deduct 200 points per cheated trick that they didn't like claim as cheating. If they like it hits hand, they spike it, and they're like, yes, on to the next trick. When they went back to the video recording, they're like, oh no,
you can't hide it.
That's not gonna fly. This one kid had 0 on the board at the end. And it's kind of like
that hurts.
He hurt somebody's chances of
getting in. Got to the prelims.
So we have no idea how much he handed the prelims, and I think there might have been 2 people that got points deducted, 2 or 3 people. Oof. We've seen it in the past.
That feels bad.
Feels bad, man. Hate to see it.
Hate to see it. You really hate to see it.
And so I think those are all the different competition styles. There are probably some more. Those are the ones that I'm most familiar with and that are most common in kendama. Van Jam's another one that does the kin tournament style. So
really?
So there's two competitions that is their main.
Yeah, so I guess then we've got the who, we got the what. So the when, this is going to be basically when the event's going to happen. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it kind of strategically, if you're younger and it's an after-school type thing, after school. Probably on the weekend because, you know, you guys have homework and you're very diligent about getting that done. And you're
sports, I mean, the people are busy too.
Yeah, you're going to think about, oh, is homecoming coming up? Pass on that. And maybe it is also kind of tied to like your venue. Like maybe you're going out in the park and you're not supposed to be out there after dark, and you're good citizens and you don't stay in the park after dark.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, well, some places. I know, like, there's a place close by here where you can dock and let boats off into the water, and like it's closed after dark because they don't want people in and about, you know. So that, you know, and it's also like a park too, which is kind of weird.
And a weather thing for wind is a big factor. You
exactly.
know? Like, can you have an event outside
when it's 17 degrees outside? No.
And depending on where you live,
Canada, what's up?
Canada's not going to be able to go outside.
Yeah, and so the wind is, I mean, once again, pretty straightforward, but just think about it a little bit. So
dates. So if you're planning on hosting a bigger kendama event, look at dates where other kendama events aren't happening. The month of February, we really didn't see any major kendama events, at least in the U.S. That
it was just my birthday.
Oh, it was your birthday.
Yeah,
oh yeah, let's not bring that back.
We've moved on.
Yeah, so you think about months like February, May. It would be a generally good month. I know Down to the D happens, but other than that, I'm not sure that anything's going on in that month. March is not a good time because it's fully booked. I mean, there's not a free weekend in March.
Summertime, everybody's out of school.
Summertime's a good time to host an event, but yeah, just be mindful of where people are, what they're doing.
Wear sunscreen.
Yeah, wear sunscreen. We didn't on the first day of the tour. Got so sunburnt.
I'm still burnt.
I'm not, so.
Ow.
Who, what, when, where.
What, when, where. Now this is a big one. This is a really big one.
I guess venue selection, when and where kind of go together.
This is I would say probably the hardest part of the event planning.
Or easy. Maybe we were overthinking it, depending on the size of the event.
So it all depends on each other.
Yeah.
If you're just doing a jam, you can get by with, you know, different little things like just a park or something like that, and but at the same time that might get kind of old. I don't know. If you've done a jam in the same spot over and over again, it's kind of like maybe we should change it up. Maybe we should do something different. We've been to many garage jams. I mean, I've spent as many time in garages playing kendama as I have anywhere else, I feel like. You know what I mean? And so you can make anywhere happen, but if you want to do it bigger, you can consider renting a venue. So this kind of gets a little bit tricky because you have to think about a lot harder about who's coming in terms of how many people are coming, if they're going to be willing to help you out with the rent by paying to get in the door. And I want to be very specific because some people are very touchy about this kind of thing. It's okay to charge at the door if you pay for a venue. That's fine. You don't have to feel guilty about asking for a little bit of help, because if you have to pay $1,000 for a venue, there's no sense in you.
Yeah, no, I mean, the event becomes really a business or a project in itself, where you, like, if you put up $1,000 for, you know, to host the event, like, that money has to come back, like.
Yeah, no, I don't think
when you have a crowd of people, you know, like, if you have 100 people coming, $10 a piece will cover that. And that might sound crazy, like everyone paying $10, but like the event wouldn't be able to happen in that area if everyone didn't help.
When I was younger and I didn't have a job, and I kind of had an allowance thing kind of going on. I mean, we didn't really have an allowance.
Not at all. Like,
okay, sorry. When I was growing without an allowance, I was thinking pretty hard about how I wanted to spend my money, and if I went bowling or went to the movies or went out to eat or something like that, I'd think about like dollars per hour fun. You know what I mean? It's like
I would never
say
never consider that.
Let me
maybe that's just the way that you thought.
Let me pitch how this works. So I go to a movie. It cost me $15. It's a 2-hour-long movie. I paid $7.50 per hour, right?
Yeah.
So you go to a kendama event. You pay $10 to get in the door, and it's 7 hours long.
Yeah.
You paid like, I don't know, $1 and like 13 cents per hour to have fun. I mean, that's not a bad deal.
Good bang for your buck.
Yeah, good bang for your buck. And so, you know, charge at the door if you have to. If you don't have to, don't. If it's at a church or something and the church is like, yeah, it's cool, let's just play in the basement.
No, get creative with, you know, who do you know and What do you have? What resources do you have available to you?
Let's do a quick brainstorming sesh for places to set up a jam.
Parks. Or generally parks are free unless the pavilion is something that's rented
out. Parks, garages. I'm gonna take my church.
If you know anybody who owns a business, ask them, hey, can we use your space outside of hours or
parking lot, like the Zaxby's.
Yep. Okay, are we thinking high school gymnasiums, band rooms, classrooms? Schools are always about things like that.
Did we already say parks?
Yeah. That was the first line.
Outdoors. I literally can't think of anything else.
I mean, yeah, like public spaces.
Any place you can stretch.
The Mall of America.
Yeah. If you just want to have a little jam sesh.
Mall of America.
Rent the rotunda.
We had the goat jam. We went to the Opryland Hotel. Hotels. That one is kind of like a park.
And for About the Border, we rented a skating place. I don't know how you call it.
Well, it's a music venue.
It's a skate park.
It's a music venue that has an indoor skate park attached.
So we rented the skate park.
But that was also the 7th year of Battle of the Border, so it's not like...
Turn up!
The first year we had Battle of the Border in a garage on a farm. The second year we had it in a band room, and I think we continued to have it in the band room until it grew out of the band room size, and then we, you know... You
can kind of keep thinking about it year after year if that's how it keeps going.
But get creative with the resources, the things that you have, and talk to people, ask mom, ask dad, ask...
So another thing you can think about is when you're talking about bang for your buck, you know, you're talking about $10 at the door or something else. Something you can do that we do and MKO does is like find a way to increase the value of that door entrance fee value by adding some prizes and stuff like that. MKO does it a little bit bigger with Damas and stuff like that if you enter into the competition, but like...
They're also, it's like $55
No, yeah, for sure.
Know what I mean? So
but for Battle of the Border...
With the price, the value and everything.
Battle of the
Border has been $25.
Yeah, but we'll do the...
string packs, raffle tickets, lanyards.
Lanyards, that's the word I was looking for.
So trying to add value through stuff donated by your sponsors, or if you're wanting to invest in something like the lanyards that we, you know, plan event exclusive items. Maybe a t-shirt is something that you want to take that route, you know, something you're more comfortable with.
Yeah, I think like he mentioned like getting stuff from the sponsors to help give out the door. That's another component that you can consider, and you can't ask too big for something like that because it's kind of like that's a lot of people. But if you're like, hey, would you guys mind sending a stack of stickers or pins or you know, stuff like that, lanyards even, I mean bracelets or like just anything.
Yeah, I mean be honest with your intentions, and I'm sure the company will be able to work with your brand.
And so I think we can kind of walk into the next one, which is the how.
Yeah.
And that's kind of involves the sponsorship, and then just once again just reminding you to be really thoughtful about each aspect of event hosting. But when you go to ask for sponsors, you gotta have it all together. You gotta have it together.
This is like one of the final steps.
Yeah, you can't come in and say, I'm thinking about hosting an event, can you send me prizes?
Yeah, prizes are once you have
everything's lined up.
Yeah, you've got the space, you've got the time, the date, you have a general idea of how many people are coming, something you can provide information with, hopefully a Facebook event page.
Let's stop there. So Facebook event page. A lot of people in the Kendama community. My mouth is dry.
I didn't say that. Here, drink some more coffee.
Wait. Coffee break. A lot of people in the Kendama community use Facebook to track event pages and stuff like that, and just because it's really convenient, you can see who's going and that kind of thing. So I would encourage you to use a Facebook event page, and the benefit is that is once you have people coming in and they say they're going, you know what to expect, so you can kind of figure out what the venue is going to be and that kind of thing. Say you have 6 versus 20 versus 50, you know you can better book things, you just understand your price range a bit better. And another thing is when you go to ask for prizes, if literally all you did was link the Facebook event page and it had all the information on there and all the people going and the times and everything, we'd be happier than you explaining it all out in text, you know, because you can kind of see it in reference there anyway. And it helps kind of gauge how many prizes to send as well. So Facebook event page, huge.
Yeah. We could also talk about creating flyers, promotional materials, things like that.
Yeah.
If you're looking for sponsors, they like to know that there's recognition for, you know, what's being given, things of that sort. And a flyer is just a good way for you to get more buzz on your
people
event.
attending.
You know, and so it's a win-win. Like, you're getting more people attending, hopefully by creating flyers, spreading them, and posting them. Companies are getting a benefit, you know, like they're providing, so you're providing something back for them.
Coincidentally, I made a blog post on how to make an event flyer and how to host an event, and I'm going to link them both below. That's right, yeah, so you guys can reference both again. Of course, you can always rewatch the episode. But if you need help making the event flyer, you can just look at that blog post because it kind of sums things up and it kind of lays it out there for you in case you got any confusion about it. But in terms of like prizes and stuff like that, let's talk a little bit about etiquette in terms of who gets what and like not keeping anything and like, you know, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, never keep anything unless there is a note inside that says, hey, we sent you an extra this for, you know, doing the event or hosting an event.
Event host etiquette. Don't keep prizes.
Never keep prizes.
Ever.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, it's a big.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
You hate it.
Really.
It's a big no.
I mean, I've had people at events tell me like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, the person organizing this like kept the grand prize or whatever it was.
So.
like if we send KD mod, which is like one of our higher priced items versus something like a string pack or something, you know, and then it's like if the person hosting the event kept the Kevin DeSoto promo, it's like, dude, that was the first place prize.
And that's going to do is hurt your odds next event. If you come back and say, hey, I need more prizes, you're like, oh, that's funny because you've still got a KD Pro mod.
Yeah.
So there's that.
That's no bueno. What etiquette? What else did you have?
So like, I think like if the person who is doing the judging is good buds with someone else in the competition, I mean, you just gotta be thoughtful about that. Just kind of pay attention.
Who's judging? You want generally a non-biased.
You don't want your bud giving your other bud a prize when everybody else who just joined the community is looking to get involved.
This is just for competitors in general. Don't sandbag. If you're an advanced player, don't go into beginner. Don't go into intermediate. If you can compete at the level, if you can compete at the highest level compete at what level you're at, you know, like nobody wants to see you get.
Nobody's impressed by you winning in beginner.
Yeah, like, and you're taking it away from the people who are actually that skill level. And if you're just in it for the dub to get some free things, like, come on, challenge yourself, push yourself to get better. Kendama, I mean, that's kind of like kendama at the base level, like.
Yeah, keep the fundamentals going.
Fundies.
And if you've got like, if somehow you've ended up with extra prizes, you should find some beginners or people who are just joining the community and kind of pass that on to them.
Or save it for the next one.
Or save it for the next one as well. Yeah, but I mean, giving to a beginner or like, I mean, a hardcore newbie is like such a nice little, like, they don't expect to get a $30 thing for just showing up. You know, it kind of just keeps them involved in the community and gives them incentive to keep playing, and so we could always use that.
Yeah,
right?
And you can never expect like a Kendama brand to like give something when, you know, if you don't have all the stuff planned on the front end, like you just can't be like, come on, why are you sending me stuff? It's, you know, you've got to work with them, be honest, give them all the information, and if it seems sketch, like you know how many people might email or ask and don't even have
any kind of information.
Or how do we even know they're hosting an event?
Yeah, know, like, you just don't know. So it's just
include your name in the email. Like, people just forget like simple things like that.
Some basic stuff, yeah. So another thing for your event is you want to take a lot of pictures and videos if you can help it. This, once again, I mean, refer to the last video. You can, you know, it's the same idea basically, is that you get to see good times again. But another thing is like, you kind of build a portfolio for an event, and you know, you say, oh, last year we did this, boom, link to 3 edits, and you know, pictures and all this kind of thing, and it's like, oh, okay, wow, yeah,
they actually get the group photo.
Gotta get the group photo. It's hard because somebody always misses it, but you know,
always, yeah,
doesn't matter.
I've missed 2 or 3 myself, like
of your own event.
No, I hate it too. You're like, you come back, you're like, I missed the group photo. Yeah. Like, I wasn't there. Like,
you gotta Photoshop yourself in, and you know, all that kind of mess. But so take a lot of pictures and videos, and I know other people will probably be filming anyway. I mean, this is what the people do. Appreciate it.
Giving Shelton a little bit of
extra dribble,
extra coffee.
So yeah, I think that
we can also. I'd like to.
Spillage.
They can't even see it.
They can't see.
We didn't
Thank
have
God
to talk about
You're
it.
right. He spilled it.
Oh, my towel. I lost my train of thought.
We can talk about.
I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry. It's the spillage. Gets you every time.
It was really important.
I'm sure it was. Was it about pictures and videos and was it about locations?
What? So I remember now. It is. What is your intention with the event? When
like long-term goals or like short-term?
Long-term, short-term. When I hosted my first Kendama event, I think the goal was just to have fun and to spread Kendama, to make Kendama bigger. And
that's probably the best goal.
I wasn't sponsored. I was just a player interested in getting more people to play, and for my two friends that also played, just something that we could all do together. And as I got sponsored, it started to change. It was like, you know, it was kind of like, okay, like, this is an opportunity for us to, like...
let people know we exist.
Well, that was with Kendama, and I was just kind of like, all right, it's a good opportunity for me to, like, Kendama, like, this is a, like, it was more of a branded event. And with Soul now, it's kind of like, and it's grown so much, it's like, this, for us, is our way of giving to the community, creating this opportunity. And, I mean, of course, it's still, like, promoting Kendama, growing Kendama, trying to get more people involved more deeply into the community and events.
But it's like celebrating the community.
But for us, it's so much like what we can like give and provide for you guys and for players. And so I want to challenge you, like, think, what is it that, you know, what's your purpose behind hosting the Kendama event? What do you want to do with it? Where do you want to take it? Things of that sort.
It's just fun to think about, and like ideas are fun, man. They're just really fun. So like get some friends together and like just spitball ideas and like start small. Don't get discouraged. But you know, hopefully like with this video and the other guys we have on the website, it can help you kind of get some muscle behind it and yeah,
some triathlon
get something
muscle.
going. So I think that's a pretty solid episode. I feel like we've summed that up pretty well. We would love to hear some more ideas for content. We're not struggling. Who said that? No.
We didn't talk about events already. Episode 9 is coming up soon. We'd love to hear a topic below.
What we should blabber on about for about 40 minutes.
And then episode 2, of course, we're going to do 10. The Q&A. What did I say?
You said episode 2.
Plus 8.
You need to drink some more coffee.
Goodness, it's early.
Coffee break.
On episode 10, we're going to do a Q&A. So that one's solidified. We need a topic for episode 9, to be completely honest.
Help us. Help us help
so,
you.
Good topics down here. That's a Why Don't We Boys.
If you have any questions that we did not answer about how to host an event, or about event flyers, or about prizes, or about venues, about anything else, hit us up. We got you. We got you. And even, I just want to say, even if you're watching this a year or 2 from now, who knows, still ask the question, because we'll still be here. We'll still be answering. So, thanks for watching, guys. You can follow us on Instagram at Chad Covington, at Shelton III, and at Soul Kendamas. Once again, finish off.